this month's APM Practitioners Forum. This is going to run about a half hour plus, and I'll make some introductions in a moment. So if you're not supposed to be on this particular meeting, this is for APM. Okay, again, my name is Jim Copio, and I'm one of the BSM SIG leaders, and on the phone is another one, and that's Mark Laird. So you can field questions to either of us. Sandy and Rocky, I don't believe, are on this call, but they are the other two co-BSM SIG leaders. So you can certainly capture those email addresses and ask questions after the fact. Okay, so from a housekeeping perspective, most of you have been on this monthly call in the past, but for those who have not, essentially this is a live session. So we do take notes and have the recording available after the fact, so you'll get a link to click on that. Or for people that could not make it, they'll get the link and be able to kind of get back into the recording and into the slides. So that is available, but this is live. The session Q&A, there's the standard panel to either your left or your right, so you have an opportunity to ask questions, and you just go to your chat, type in your question, and hit send, and then we'll retrieve those questions and try to answer them throughout the entire session. And ones that we cannot answer on the spot, we'll do some research and get back to you as a group or individually. So we don't want any question marks. There's certainly a lot happening around the APM arena today with the tools, the technologies, and just APM in general. A lot of exciting activities. There's the panel. I should have brought that up first, but here's a picture of it. And you type your question, hit send. Pretty simple. Okay, so this was kind of a morphed scenario where there was a APM practitioner forum led by HP, and then of course we had the BSM Vivit group. So we kind of merged them together since they're very common themes, if you will. And for those who do not know, Vivit is the largest independent HP software users group on the planet, and we have many different SIGs around many different themes across the portfolio. Again, this one's around APM and BSM. It's a 5,800 member organization, and with lots of events and webinars and member value. So you can do vivit.org and check it out further, but there's a lot of value across the whole HP suite for practitioners and for users, and even for senior managers that want to get comfortable with the value they can drive within their respective organizations. Again, there's just a quick snapshot of what this organization's about within the Vivit community. I'm looking at a count. We have a small crowd today, but it's really quality, not quantity, so we'll do some introductions momentarily. The format is kind of free-flowing, and what we'll do is everyone gets a chance to do a quick introduction of who they are, where they're from, and how they fit into this APM world, and then pose questions or even give ideas and comments and best practices. So it's kind of free-forming in that respect, and we'll kind of start in terms of when people came into the call, kind of sequentially. And then when we get through the whole group, we can just repeat again until we kind of run out of time, if you will. But very free-flowing, and again, whatever we don't accomplish on this particular session, there's lots of opportunity after the fact via, blogs and emails and so forth. We do have another a session, if you want to get it on your calendar, for March 30. We try to do these monthly. We kind of staggered the months because of holidays and so forth. So we ended up what looks like 2 in 1 month, but it's almost 4 weeks apart. So the next one is March 30 if you want to mark your calendars. Okay. And news from the Vivit BSM SIG. There is a good website you can click on. Again, these slides will be captured for you later. That has just about everything you need to know on forums and blogs of upcoming events, and there's quite a bit coming up. as we'll talk about later. So I see we have Asaf as a panelist. He's obviously from HP and always is a great contributor with his intellect and knowledge of APM and BSM. Myself and Mark Laird. Now, where do I pick up the list of the attendees so I can start the introduction?
I'll do that bit for you, Jim.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Go ahead.
So yeah, so we've got the first one on the list, and they're in alphabetical order by first name. So Bernard, you're the first one on the list. If I should be able to unmute your line. So Bernard, you're unmuted. If you want to give a quick introduction.
Yeah, hi. My name's Bernard Simchak. I'm the lead IT systems engineer over our ALM and Quality Center, ALM Quality Center and UFT products. And we do have Load Runner, and we're looking at what Performance Center can do. So I'm basically just trying to get a map of landscape of what it is. And for Vivit, I'm a leader of the Ohio chapter, as well as the Testing Quality and Application Lifecycle Special Interest Group.
Well, welcome.
Thank
you. Christopher, you're next. Christopher Hansen. I've unmuted your line.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
You can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. I work for Effectual Systems Group. We're an HP partner. We have been participants in the HP UCMDB Practitioners Forum for a few years, and we do have products, and we offer services for BSM as well as UCMDB, obviously them being closely tied together. So I thought I would pop in and see what this forum was about, and hopefully contribute as much as I can and see what customers are talking about.
Well, welcome. So where are you based, Christopher?
We're based in Berkeley, California.
Okay. So it's early morning for you then.
Yeah, it is. You could probably hear that in my voice.
Drink coffee, lots of coffee.
Yeah.
It's always quite funny when we have these calls because I'm based in London, in the UK. Anne-Marie's in Holland, so we're even further east. So it's quite interesting to see where people are joining in from. So.
Thanks.
Okay, so Eric, I think you're next. Eric Buckwalter.
Hi, my name is Eric Buckwalter. I work for OpenText in the U.S. I've been working with HP products for several years, mainly site scope and diagnostics, and recently with BSM implementation. Our company's been using HP products for a long time, OM, NNMI, and others. Currently, I'm doing some work with ViewGen scripts and BPM monitors in our BSM implementation. But we're still fairly new to BSM.
Where you located?
My office is located out of the Gaithersburg, Maryland, which is near Washington, D.C.
Okay, sure.
And Eric, when you're coding your ViewGen scripts, do you code them, or do you get, for example, your testing team to code them, or what's just? I'm only asking the question because we're going through a similar challenge.
Yeah, right now it's me. We've done some things in the past year where we've had to migrate some older monitoring implementations that we've acquired, and in those cases we've had some scripts already existing and running, and we just had to basically move them over into BPM. But for all the existing applications and services that we want to monitor, I'm probably going to be going through and creating scripts. We do have some QA teams that do use Load Runner, and I will be checking to find out if they already have scripts that we could leverage and use. But typically I would think that, load generating case, they may not be useful just for a a typical synthetic transaction we might want to do.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Eric Cassiato, I think you're next.
There's a number of different things. We have a tool called a Vector Scorecard now that can show some stuff. That's usually kind of shown and created dashboards for service owners, giving you a roundabout answer. It's not one quick one, okay? But anybody should be able to run a report in there. Now, if somebody said to do that I'm not sure about. But Derek Wilford is the main contact for that, and Ravish is his name. He's from HP. He's our HP resource from India. So who would run specifics? I mean, Derek's on vacation now, but I think he's remote. But I'm able to look around.
I think
because,
Derek might be having a conversation with somebody else.
There is somebody else, and when the guy's offline, 11:15. Oh,
so,
hello.
Hello, Eric.
Get back. I'm sorry. Somebody came by my desk. Sorry about that.
I was just about to, you were on mute until I unmuted you and asked you for an introduction.
Oh, okay. Oh, hopefully you didn't hear too much of that. So yeah, my name is Vivit Machado. I'm from the Lubrizol Corporation, and we have a number of also seems like the trend is a lot of people have multiple HP tools. When it comes to our BSM, we have a distributed environment. I'm getting an echo back.
It's fine from our end.
Is it fine from your end?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, that's why.
Now we've lost.
Now we've lost him.
We'll roll to the next person.
We'll come back to Eric. So Jason Driscoll.
Hi, I'm Jason Driscoll. I'm the global ITSM, ITAM, ITOM architect for John Hancock and Manulive. We've had a litany of HP products for a while, and we're at the verge of getting ready to make the jump from BSM 807 to version 9. And just wanted to get some feedback about any lessons learned about making the switch from 807 to 925 or 927.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. We could probably we'll come back to you on that one. I think on that when we've just taken the last two attendees, because certainly we've done that jump. I can explain how we did it. So, and Eric's now back as well. So, Mina, you're next.
Can you hear me?
We can. Yes.
Okay, so my name is Mina Macias. I work for HP Software as an account manager, with engagement support manager. I am originally from Mexico City, but I do work from now in the Atlanta area. I do support HP customers that run all the application suites that HP offers. And I'm here because I want to hear what is important to the customers, as well as what customers are talking about, and anything on best practices and strategies are important to me, so I can put them in practice with my customers. I used to support our own HP IT and also the HPES, so I have some experience as a generalist, but not as an administrator in our HP applications.
Okay. From an account manager perspective, do you support the whole portfolio to your clients, or just the ops piece, or a specific area?
Mainly the operations piece. So my customers have all these applications, and I have to oversee the delivery.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, on my first pass through the list, it's Rolf.
Yes, this is Rolf Freudenberg. I'm located in Norway, same time zone as the Netherlands. So it's after working hours here. I work for a company called Manage, which is an HP software partner. and I've worked with HP software products since about '93. So I've been around a while. I've been to several of the Open Forum events in the old days, and perhaps one of the things that we've started looking more at in Norway now, and that I haven't heard anybody mention so far, is the software as a service versions of the product, such as the App Pulse, and lately we've been doing a lot of work with App Pulse Mobile to track performance and stability on mobile applications.
How do you like working with Apple's mobile or any of the Apple's solutions?
I like it compared to, I like the user interface. I think they're reasonably easy to work with. As a programmer in the old days, currently I'm primarily working on business development, so I'm not working all that technically. Okay. One would like to have a lot of other things you could customize and modify, etc. But at the same time, anything that you customize tends to give you a maintenance burden in the future. So that's one of the advantages of using SaaS-type systems with very little customization. HP recently had an event here in Norway where we developed an agenda app for them and instrumented it with Apple's mobile, and gave us a very nice way of demoing what the system does when everybody was using the app at the same time. So they could sort of relate the information in Apple's to the actual app.
Yeah, HP is putting a lot of emphasis on Apple's. That portfolio continues to generate other products and features. Very exciting. Did we have to go back to Eric, who we lost earlier? Mark?
I'm going to go back to Eric right now, yes. Eric, you're unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay, cool. So before that was my mic, and I turned the mic off so I didn't get the feedback, and it kicked me off. So.
No problem.
Yeah, but anyway, so what I was beginning to say is we do have a lot of HP products. We have a lot of momentum right now where we're working directly with service owners to create end-to-end service health monitoring. So we have BSM, and we also have UCMDB. So I work pretty closely with the UCMDB admin, if you want to call her. She does a lot of different things, but when it comes to, she creates the models and BSM consumes them. We also have discovery that goes on within UCMDB that pushes over to BSM. So currently, I'm actually creating, we've met with now three critical services. One of, three of the most critical, let's say, like if they're down, there's something going on, that we need to address right away. So we're doing proactive monitoring, and we're creating using BPMs, we're using SiteScope, we're using a number of different, let's say data collectors, and then I'm creating pages. Well, that's the correct term for when you're looking at it through service health, but the dashboards essentially for not only a stakeholder or a service owner, but also when it comes to the stakeholder, like say the technical resource, or what we'll call it maybe an app owner, application owner, or a service architect or an engineer, or something to that level. Then we're also going to break out eventually and make something for we have an OC, it's called it's Operations Center, and basically they take a lot of things that say our Solution Center, which is our help desk, say they work it a little bit, and then after that they push that on. So what we're going to do is they're going to do a little bit of more proactive type monitoring. That's a little bit down the road, because right now we're really trying to focus on the service owner to bring help to the service, which will also translate to what goes to our different levels of support. So it's pretty exciting right now, because we've put a lot of work into SM, Asset Manager, all these different things, and creating our service architecture, if you want to call it that, to get to this point. So now we're actually trying to devote time to well, really I am, to try to understand all the nuances and what could be done within BSM. So sorry if that was a little drawn out. I just kind of want to let you know what I'm working on now. So the person who I think talked about BPMs. Those are always something that I try to teach myself on and learn, and it could get a little complex here and there for certain things you're trying to record, and people kind of don't understand what they're for versus what QTP can do, and what say, oh, I just want to record, dropping a file in this folder. Well, it doesn't always work like that. These are synthetically run, so we got to kind of keep that in mind, and as I'm working with people to make them understand what what it's really for and what you can get the most value out of it. So
yes, it's keeping it's keeping that in mind, that what you're actually doing is creating something that's actually got to be completely replayable, indestructive, or non-destructive, but also be what I would call it, stable, and so that actually, because you don't want false positives, and you don't want those, you don't want random alerts.
Yeah. And then sometimes they'll ask me to do the internet. Well, you can't control what happens on a lot of those sites, so it's like that's not really a good valid thing, and it's like, so it's fun, but people that I work directly with, eventually they start to understand. But we're probably going to be looking to actually bring on an HP resource to augment and not only help me, but kind of knock some of these out for us and give us best practices and things of that nature. So I'm really excited about that possibility right there too. And if any of these, and I'm going to the BSM, what's it called? Roadshow, I think they're calling it, next week. So I'm looking forward to that too, big time, in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. That's the one that Rocky's organising. Yep.
Yeah. So okay, that I'll stop there because I could talk about this all day. So, thank you.
Okay. Should we go back to Jason? Because Jason had an interesting topic around upgrades. I think it was Jason for the upgrades.
Right, Driscoll, yes. Yeah, I was going to agree. That's a good starting point. A little technical probably for some of the folks, but let's jump into that.
Then it's probably not, because there's so few people on the line. I think I might just unmute everybody, and if people want to join in. There doesn't seem too much background noise. So, Jason, I think it was your question around upgrading from 807 to version 9.
Yeah, that's correct. So we're I'm getting ready to do that, and so we've had UCMDB 807 as well. Did an upgrade to version 10. Basically, in the upgrade, we just threw it all away. So we just basically built a brand new instance of UCMDB 10 and started doing a rediscovery from there. So version 8 of BSM is still talking to the old version 8 of UCMDB for the time being. But then, when we do this upgrade, it's like, okay, do we do the same thing where we throw everything away, or do we try to move over all of the dashboards and BPM scripts that we've put together? So that's kind of looking for, what other people have done and been successful with.
Okay, so my name is Mark Laird. I work for Sopra Steria as an IT architect. The approach we took, because we were in a very similar situation to you in our UK organisation last year, in fact. We took the approach that we were going to basically throw it away. So we had 807, and basically we built a clean version 9 platform, and we ran the two in parallel for about 6 months. As we migrated, not migrated, as we rebuilt things like dashboards and reports, and then we simply turned the old system off. We had the added complication that our 807 system was actually on an Oracle backend, running on, it was a Windows front end and Oracle backend, and our new platform was going to be Windows front end and SQL backend. So we took the decision that we'd just run the two in parallel. We had no particular. We only do 3 months worth of historical reporting, so for us it wasn't a massive issue to lose data or to basically throw the data away.
So why only 3 months of reporting? Usually you want to, the consumers of the data, generally want to see some things that attribute to seasonality and that sort of stuff. So how busy were we last year? So my sort of rule of thumb has always been to run BSM with like a 13-month backlog. That way you can say, all right, well, what happened last year around this time when we were doing stuff?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And for our this particular UK platform is an internal-only platform, so we're reporting on our own internal systems. For our customer systems, yeah, we keep a 2 years worth of data. Essentially, we sat down with our internal client and said, it will take us. There will be a cost to doing the upgrade if we do it, if we have to migrate all the data, and we agreed with them that we would stick to this 6-month overlap, which they were comfortable with. So it came down to cost, essentially.
Got it. So yeah, so were you using the built-in RTSM, or were you using UCMDB? Did you say?
We've got UCMDB and RTSM. So
okay.
Yeah. Asaf, have you? So Asaf's our resident technical guru, and I know you've got some experience around the sort of the 925 platforms. Is this something? Do you want to talk about the upgrade path and maybe then have introduce the 925 platform and some new features?
Yeah, sure. So before we talk about the 925, I also want to share my point of view about upgrade from BAC8 to BSM9. Even though their upgrade is there and supported and will work, I personally think that there were so many conceptual changes in BSM9 between previous versions that you will probably get more value by starting from scratch and do things the right way from the beginning, rather than upgrade your current environment and then you will need to adjust the environment to the new concept of BSM9. By saying new concept, I'm referring to the shared model between BPM and RAM, especially since you mentioned you have a UCMDB and you probably are going to model your services and applications. To leverage that in the EUM side of BSM, you will be better by starting from scratch and not to upgrade your existing models or existing applications.
Mm-hmm.
All the concept of health indicator and KPIs was changed in BSM9. The concept of breakdown, I'm not sure if today you're using the transaction by location mode, but which many users used, that concept is gone in BSM9 and we have something else instead of that, but it will impact the way you are creating your views, for example, for filtering and for dashboards. The concept of baseline, which we reintroduced in BSM9, so you can enable baseline for your BPM from different locations, and you will get the seasonality of the application based on the time of the day and the day of the week and so on. So to be honest, you might spend more time upgrading the environment and facing issues during the upgrade because some of the reports are no longer, or were replaced by the way, all the reports in EUM are new in BSM9, a new framework for the reporting. So you might find yourself spending more time doing the upgrade, and after the upgrade will complete doing the cleaning of the topologies and views to get you where you want to be, instead of starting from fresh BSM, synchronize it with your freshly installed CMDB and do things the right way and along with the best practices. Might save you time at the end of the road.
Yeah, that was sort of my line of thinking as well, as was that sometimes it's better to start fresh.
Land, which is in the northeastern corner of
And the statement Mark said, there are many customers that keep their existing BAC8 for running for a while and just for historical data until the users are used to the new look and feel of BSM and until they find their way in the new product, and then after 6 months or a year you will decommission it. But it's eventually a process decision internally of how you're going to make this upgrade.
Yeah. And I think the other thing about doing things fresh is it kind of forces a kind of cleanup, if you will. You know, how important is it to you to really have this stuff monitored? And if they don't make the commitment to come back and, you know, check everything again in the new system and you know, update or provide new BPM scripts, I think it definitely might warrant itself as a useful exercise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate the input. That definitely, you know, makes me feel a little bit better about my initial thought about throwing it away and starting clean.
Sure, absolutely.
Maybe sell it internally as an opportunity to have a clean out rather than throwing it all away.
Yes. Right. Why waste hours and hours trying to figure out what we need to keep, what we need to not keep? Let's just start fresh, and that saves a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. There aren't any other questions. So Asaf, would you have a couple of minutes to talk about BSM 925 and some of the new features?
Yeah, sure. So as all of you, I hope now we released 925, I think, in the last month or so. There are some cool and appealing features that you might be interested in. I've heard BPM mentioned several times, so we have actually several new things in 925 focusing on the BPM community. The first one is with 925 we have a new integration with Mobile Center, which allow you to run BPM scripts on real mobile devices, which means up until today users had to record their Vusion script or True Client script, but BPM played back that script on a BPM machine running on Windows, and recently also we support Linux. So, but it wasn't emulating the real users using the application from their mobile devices. With 925 you can integrate real mobile devices, iPhones, tablets, Android devices, to a mobile center, HP Mobile Center, and then BPM is communicating with Mobile Center to play back the script from one of the devices available in the pool. If you will sit down next to the device, you will actually see someone almost like clicking and touching the device with an invisible finger, but this is the BPM playing back the script and giving you the real mobile device behavior. All the data that we are collecting, sending back to BSM is can be used like any other BPM data for availability and performance reports and dashboard and everything that you want to do. Another nice feature with regard to BPM is the new interface we are introducing in 925. It's called App Owner Zone. As you might know, the App Pulse suite of tools, it's a SaaS-based solution. One of the Apple's tools is Apple's Active, kind of a BPM or synthetic monitoring on a SaaS platform. We got great feedback from users about the new interface, and we decided to incorporate that in BSM. So in BSM, we have this new App Owner Zone that is basically composed of 3 mini applications. one for BPM, so you can see the BPM applications, availability and performance, and drill down to see performance over time, and the error logs if the BPM captured the errors. Very basic reports, but actually the most common used reports we have. We also have the watch list that allow you to pick CIs from your RTSM and to show their real-time status, very similar to the watch list component you have in MyBSM, with also some drill down capabilities to help you to isolate the problem and find which child CI is causing the red status to propagate and impact your service or application. And we also have the SLM mini application in the app owner zone that shows you the current status of SLAs, historical status, very similar to the status snapshot page in SLM. The great thing about app owner zone is it's not based on any applet. It's HTML5 UI, very sexy, slick UI, and it can run on mobile devices or tablets, and it's a separate URL that you can launch outside of BSM. So basically that's our direction for giving access to BSM application on mobile devices, unlike the legacy HP Anywhere. So that's the direction we are taking. We introduced a new GeoMap that has a day-night visualization. We have some new monitors in system health, multiple LDAP integrations, which is useful especially for large customers that need to incorporate multiple LDAP groups internally. In BSM now we support multiple LDAPs. We reduced the number of Java applets we have in BSM. We didn't remove them completely. I know some of you hoped to hear that or smiled when I said we removed Java applets. They are not gone completely. But from the application side, we removed the Java applets from reports, so they will load much faster. We still have some applets like top view and like the RTSM admin or service self admin. The administration, we didn't make any changes, but in the application there are some great improvements that will improve the load time of pages, and of course will remove the need for Java. In RAM, we introduced or improved the VDI support, which is for Citrix-based application. We can now monitor the sessions from the client all the way to the backend Citrix application. We updated the geolocation database. So there are lots of new capabilities, and one more last thing to mention, BSM 925 is OMI 10 integration enabled. You can now integrate OMI 10, and with a couple of clicks OMI 10 will initiate the synchronization with BSM 925 to synchronize not just topology and event, but also KPI statuses, MyBSM components to display in the MyBSM, and also some PMI integration to show reporting in OMI 10 based on data that BSM is collecting, like metrics for BPM and RAM and diagnostic and so on. So I will pause here, and if there are comments or questions, or if you want me to drill down in some of the topics.
It's an open forum. The lines are all open. There's no questions on the question panel, but does anybody on the line want any more detail from Asaf?
Didn't they change the name? MyBSM, isn't the name changed to something else? It's no longer called MyBSM, or I'm thinking of something else?
Really? No, not that I know. I think it's
Okay.
still. might be some.
Too many names. Too many anagrams.
So with BSM 925, can you launch the OMI console separately from like the other APM features now? Is that one of the features?
You mean the OMI 10 that I mentioned? OMI 10 is a separate product. So
you have to integrate to OMI 10 in order for that to happen, correct?
yes and no. You still have the OMI component inside BSM 9, but it's the, let's say, the OMI 9 version. OMI 10, it's a new product we also just released about a month ago. It's a standalone OMI platform, the ops bridge that we envision as the manager of managers. BSM, or now it might be called APM if you're just doing your BPM and running it, and OMI and connecting your OM and other event management tool directly to OMI. OMI is the manager of managers, and BSM 925 can integrate with it. Saying that, if you don't install OMI 10, you still have OMI in the BSM platform. OMI 10 allows you more scalability than OMI 9. Scalability was one of the main features we had in mind when OMI 10 was designed. Scalability and of course usability. So it has a HTML5 based UI. It's using CMDB 10.11 as the RTSM. Monitoring automation, user engagement, those are foundation features of OMI 10, which on your OMI 9 are just add-ons. But if you want to leverage OMI 10, you will need to install it on a separate server, and then yes, you can synchronize or integrate it with BSM 925, which then you will need to ask yourself whether your users need to use OMI in the OMI 10 or OMI 9. Most probably it will be the OMI 10.
Okay.
But it's not replacing the OMI 9.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we covered some on the testing scripts with Bernard, and we covered AppPulse and for Ralph, and then Jason on the upgrade. Eric, I guess, did we cover everything we needed for you? Oh, there's two Erics, I'm sorry. Eric from OpenText.
Yeah, no, I asked that last question about OMI. That was fine.
Okay, you're good with that. And then the other Eric, multiple tools, dashboard reporting. I think we covered really most of that. I'm just trying to make sure everybody got something out of this and got some value.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You covered pretty much what I wanted to hear. So happy about that, because I've actually I'm evaluating in our dev environment 925 now. So I download all the bits and I started reading the multiple PDFs that are consistent with how BSM is such a vast tool. So, but no, I'm good. Thank you.
Cool. I remember somebody mentioned something about one of Rocky Pisto's events coming up. So yeah, definitely go back to the Vivit site. The big event coming is June, of course, for Las Vegas for the annual HP Discover Conference. It's like 10,000 attendees. And of course, they have the one in Europe in December, and that'll be in London. So those are the two big pillar events. But there's a plethora of local regional events. I know in my neck of the woods there's a large customer forum in Atlanta, Georgia, March 11. but they're all over the place. And the agendas are posted, and if there's things you like, yeah, definitely get out to those and do some face-to-face networks. Not that this isn't good. This is a great forum, but you get to really blow it out, seeing people face-to-face, and lots of great sessions. So, I mean, if we accomplish everybody's goals, we can certainly fade off the call early a little bit and give you some time back in your day. So maybe we can just do a last sweep. Any open concerns or questions or things you would like to see on the next meeting that maybe we could do a little bit more preparation for, or get additional individuals on the phone that can speak to those subtopics. Definitely bring that up now or after the call.
This is Mina. You mentioned the event on March 11 in Atlanta, Georgia. That's next Monday. I wasn't aware of that. Can you post the link for that event?
Okay. Yeah, it's actually Wednesday, Mina.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and it's about I'm guessing a little bit, anywhere from 100 to 150 customers. Of course, you're in that neck of the woods, so companies like Global Payments and TSYS and SunTrust, and then, of course, a lot of HP folks and then partners. So it's like a mini Discover in Las Vegas, same idea. It's sessions and breakout areas. Presentations are generally by customers, so they're end-user presentations. I know Coca-Cola is one of the presenters, for example, and another is Citrix.
Citrix is my customer. That's right. It's going to be, no, yes, I'm aware. It's in the aquarium. Yes, you're right.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Yes.
Yeah, I'll get you the link, but you should be able to get it on your own as well.
Yes.
It's well attended, and it's going to be a great event. So maybe I'll see you there.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
I think, Jim, we don't have any more questions, and I think we've answered the ones that we were posed. So I think we can probably give people 10 minutes back of their evening, their morning, their afternoon.
Yeah, and Asaf, thanks for jumping in as always. Always good up-to-date information. There'll be some Q&A posted shortly, and of course the next meeting is March 30. So thanks everybody. Enjoy your day, evening, and we'll catch you in about 4 weeks.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks everybody.
Bye-bye.